This is not going to work. And I know that makes me sound like a pessimist, but I like to consider myself more of a realist. And this video isn't just about me saying it will fail, but I want to tell you why it's going to fail. And it starts with the proposal itself. You're not going to use your PlayStation for 1 week. That's it. That's what you guys think a protest is. That is not a blackout. That's a minor inconvenience. So we have to call this for what it is. It is a performative protest. And I understand Sony's decision made you upset. It made you just upset enough to make these posts and hashtags and unplug your PlayStation for a week. And by doing so, you're actually proving PlayStation's point. You see, Sony made this announcement on July 1st, and on July 3rd, it was discovered that they had already invested $34 million to repurpose a disc factory located in Thalgau, Salzburg. That plant produced about 600,000 discs a day, with half of them being PlayStation games. See, that decision came well before they posted that announcement. That means PlayStation ran the numbers. They saw the future. They knew social media would explode. But they also knew that you guys couldn't stay away. See, they know your threats are hollow, and they know that you completely disconnecting from PlayStation is an unlikely response. And the irony is, your protest proves it. By participating in this blackout, you are telling PlayStation that as much as you hate what they did, and as angry as you are at their decision, the most you can go without using your PlayStation 5 is 7 days. Now, you see how dumb and toothless that sounds? It's even dumber when you see people online saying that they're going to disconnect from the internet but still keep using their PlayStation 5. See, Twitter has you guys convinced that it represents an addressable chunk of the market, but it's not even close. So don't mistake the loudness as leverage, because it doesn't mean anything. You have to do something that PlayStation can't possibly ignore. Telling people not to use the system is almost immeasurable, impossible to see the impact. And we all know how performative social media is. How many people do you think will post their photos and hashtags and immediately turn on their PlayStation just because they enjoy the illusion of being a rebel, but not actually being one? Now, one of the most successful gaming protests was Battlefront 2 and its microtransactions. They got so loud, even Disney had to privately scold EA. It worked because the directive was clear, it was too big to ignore, and it had no end date. It was either fix this or we will never buy your game. But the cherry on top of this blackout is the fact that you guys had a much better, almost perfect opportunity coming in a few weeks, and that's a game called Wolverine. See, Wolverine is an expensive release for PlayStation. It's had a long cycle. It's a new M-rated IP. The Insomniac hack definitely led to a delay. And most of all, they do not own the rights to its protagonist, which means every single copy sold carries a licensing fee, a little Marvel tax for using Wolverine. So I'm betting those forecasts must be pretty high, and they're hoping for a big opening to ensure the budget gets met. And a bit of delicious irony, Marvel is owned by a company who I just spoke about, Disney. This directive would have made much more sense. Sony, reverse your decision or we will boycott the release of Wolverine. No one buys it. It would have been clear. It would have been a direct threat to PlayStation because it's their game. And it would have been an even bigger threat because they have to share a piece of that pie with Marvel, so there's not a lot to go around. Even sales being impacted for just the first 2 weeks would have done more than what you guys are now doing. But I think some of you guys might have thought about that, but it's just too much, right? Wolverine looks like too much fun. You can't let it go. And that's why I say you guys are performative about this, because if you are as offended by this decision as you say that you are, you would stop giving PlayStation money tomorrow. But if there's really something you believe in fighting for, it means that you have to be willing to lose something, no matter how much you want it. Protests are a game of chicken. Who will flinch first? And in said game of chicken, not using your PS5 for a week is like you never even stepped foot in the car. Like it if you liked it. Subscribe if you loved it. Until the next one.